bought myself a new Myford project. As you can see, green, overpainted, was originally grey. From the grey start to a greenish, but also then some red here. You can clearly see that on the cover here. And the inside is grey. This is how, at least I, semi-prepared, but not having time to do everything in the field, disassembled Myford Super 7, which was, I swear it was not planned, but at least a project that came my way. Parts, parts, parts. Parts. On the bed. And as you may see, it's in a quite sorry state, but no teeth, for instance, here missing. Everything moves. Bed is quite okay. I mean, I will grind and scrape and everything. I've inspected visually the lead screw here. I couldn't do any real inspection on site, but it doesn't appear to be that used really. And over here on the cross slide, you can clearly see the scraping marks there. On this side, I have to do further inspection, but at least no apparent ridge. And from the bottom, of course, I have to do a thorough inspection. Rusty and looking where, sorry, the cross and top slide assembly has some plus and minuses. It has this cracked and welded up again affair here, and some chugging marks, but it doesn't really appear to be heavily worn. But of course, measurements will reveal that. The tailstock, not too bad really. Functions. So I just wanted really to show you a random purchase, not planned, but which came along at an okay price to me. Although I have to replace some parts and And of course there's a lot of work involved in setting it up again, painting, regrinding, whatever. It's still an okay lathe, and within I would say a market price for a very accurate and nice old piece of machinery. I have covered all the details before, so I didn't plan to do this. It was just an example to show you here from a point of taking it down and stripping it and finding the errors or whatever needs to be done by inspection. So, which is typically what you want to do, I think, before you, preferably, of course, as much as possible before you even buy it, so you can get a sort of an idea if it's worth paying whatever you pay. One guy approached me as a comment to one of the videos I made about where and what to start with and how to do such a restoration. And I answered that I've been told and think it's advisable to start with the basics and the foundation. And in this case, the foundation is the bed. This can serve as an example of typical restoration, probably. It's also one that has some surprises, both in negative and positive terms. Anyway, this is, I think, one of the nicer examples, not too worn really, more abused, maybe heavy-handed use than wear. It's quite typical wear in the areas, for instance on the bed here and on the saddle, but not too much really. So what is apparent is of course that a cosmic restoration is needed because of the paint job that's been done here. This is actually a quite old, I think from between 68 to 71 produce, and it's actually also a metric version, evident by metric scaling here on the tailstock, the tube there, and also with the screws and dials being metric. And the screws, both for the top slide and the cross slide, has a 2 millimeter lead, so that one revolution will move 2 millimeters. And the cross slide has been dialed, or the engravings here are from 0 to 4, so that this will then show the diameter reduction, the reduction in diameter. The same goes for the top slide. I'm not sure what the thinking there was, but anyway, it's the same. Scope of work is different from machine to machine, but my approach is always the same. I strip down the lathe to the bare, just the bare parts, basic parts, in this case the bed, so that I can measure it up. All the big parts are also just stashed away, small parts to be cleaned also, but at least here we can then have a good, let's say, going over and to see and inspect. Of course, the visual inspection at site in this case was not really possible, so, and the price was set, so it's just a matter of getting the whole machine home and then disassemble it, and then now where we are. So then we have the ability to take each part for itself also, and then, as I said, start with the basic. I measured up here. The wear is mainly on the front part, not so much. Setting 0 here, I get the maximum wear here at 2.5 hundredths of a millimeter. Which is, of course, 1/1000th of an inch. This rear shear here is almost 0 all the way. This has been a Naviguide saddle machine, so that the saddle here has been running on this shear, being clamped between the lip here, so, and then running like that, and the tailstop of course then running with the base here, but on the inside, so the rear part here has been untouched. So this is now pristine also and can be used as reference. And since this is not worn, I have only to take these into consideration. And of course the top here has been worn with some regular hacksaw marks here, but I will take that down, grind it down, or we will do that. As you can see here from the saddle, it's hardly worn. You can still see the scraping marks all over, which I have measured also and found that it is quite normal wear, not so much, indicated between the untouched area over here, set 0, and then finding that it's -3, 3, 2, 1.5, 1.5. So -3 at the highest, sorry, the most wear there. Which will of course correspond to where the tool pressure is highest. So, and we can also see then here on the dovetail that there is minimal wear. So I think I have an easy job with this one, really. Just taking down this one a little bit and leaving this as is. And the cross slide, also we can see scraping marks all over. So and it's been pretty much untouched, a little bit heavy-handed usage evident here, but not much really. And the top slide has taken some damage running the chuck into the top slide foot, but as I see on the base here, it's not been rotated much at least, but I can see a quite heavy ridge there. So here there is a big wear ridge. So this has seen some wear. So you can learn a lot about how the machine has been used from what you have from wear. The tailstock in itself is okay, really. This one also with the metric dial here. It's not Belmouth, I've measured it, and then the only thing is that this is a little bit, I need to grind up a little bit on that. So the tailstock is also okay, but of course I expect the foot to be in need of some work. The headstock is almost pristine. This can be seen from the retained scraping marks all over, really. it's in need of just some paintwork. The spindle also pristine. One can imagine that this has seen some use, but it's only been light use, at least from that point of view. I saw that quite early on, that this was in good shape. So from that perspective, it's not too bad. I see some missing parts here, for instance, but the bull gear and the other side also unscathed, no broken teeth. I was a bit hasty saying that the back gear was in order. I mean, the bull wheel was in order, just missing this lever. But this is what double wheel should look like, and this is how this looks. So clearly not okay. So a replacement there will be needed, and that probably has been the result of this locking pin also missing, which have led to the user then locking the system, probably with the bull wheel and the back gear system here. Yeah. So that's nice. I've taken some parts that are typical here from a usage point of view. So for instance then the rack, but in this case quite okay. And the matching gear here is also okay, actually. The screw here, quite nice really, and also I saw on the half nuts, okay. There is not much wear on the brass bushings, neither here nor in the counter shaft, for instance. You see there is only light wear, and this is also dimensionally okay. The screws are another story. At least, well, this one is okay. At least quite okay on the top slide and also on the tailstock, but the cross slide has been replaced with the normal screw here. So, and also the adapter to the hand wheel has been broken off. So this has of course been under heavy usage. I will replace that anyhow because I want to have an ELS here. So, but all in all, say for instance bearings are okay all over, so shouldn't have to replace them. Must be said that Myford themselves made a very good inspection guide, so you can read this, which is available online, to get a glimpse into what they consider as the important steps to redo a lathe. So of course the goal is to get it up to meet production specs, and this can be a very accurate lathe. So in saying that, when you buy such a lathe, if I should just start using it, of course this wouldn't have been too bad, but I would have had to redo some parts anyway. But I would like to get it to production specs, so to do that would, I guess, at least require what I do with it, plus maybe more. So if you shall have some kind of, let's say, joy out of it, of course you would probably start with taking a repaint, doing a repaint, changing screws, and then you can start using it, and this wouldn't be really that bad of from an alignment or accuracy point of view. But to do it complete according to specs would need to do what I would require to do what I intend to do with it. And in comparison with the other available types today, I think we can say we have a market price for this size of hobby lathe, and it's not that easy to restore and try to keep within that market price. Of course, it can be said that this might be one of the better available lathes then in this category, but at least there is a certain market price, so it's not worth, I mean, a lot more than other lathes, I think. From the basics here, start with grinding the bed. Get that flat, grind these so these are parallel, taking out the wear, scrape a little bit, scrape the little bit on this one, on the side, scrape the saddle on the side. Of course, cosmetic work. The top slide, of course, completely redone. Machining also. And yeah, I will of course then also take this down to redo the painting, and that's also some cost.